Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into Sid Meier's Civilization VII, specifically looking at the Founders Edition. I recently purchased this one, and I'm going to be getting it 5 days early access, and I'll be taking you along for the ride. Alright, so before we dive deep into kind of what Civ 7 brings, I wanted to look at what comes with the Founders Pack that we got. So kind of going over the different things, first off, we get the complete base game, of course, right? The real reason we got the Founders Edition was so that we're able to play early and we can play as some different leaders and civs not contained in the base pack. And this was an example of the Tucunsun and Sui Li leaders. We also get 2 new leaders, 4 new civilizations, and some natural wonders. Plus there's some cosmetic changes as well, like different fog of wars and things like that. The Founder Edition also comes with this thing called the Right to Rule Collection, where you get more leaders, more civilizations, and more wonders to marvel at. This collection also includes another cosmetic bonus to enhance your gameplay experience. So still a lot of the stuff that you get in the Founders Edition is still unknown, right? What leaders, what cosmetic changes, things like that, you'll have to tune in to see. What we have now is Civ 7 just released some new gameplay. Let's go ahead and dive deep into this footage and see how it differs from games in the past.
This is by far the biggest, the most ambitious game we've ever made at Firaxis. It represents a significant gameplay evolution for the Civ franchise, and it's a game we plan to support for many years.
Oh, look at that. Let's take it back a second real quick.
Nice.
Right here. So you can see that's a shipwreck a little bit off there in the distance. And this was common in Civ 6. And you can actually see another one back here. That's a nice little sneak. You could use, I believe, Archaeologist to kind of go over here and get different relics from. So I wonder if we'll be seeing like a similar return of that. We can also see like elephants, so I think that was like ivory in Civ 6. So it's cool to see like some of these features coming back.
And it's a game we plan to support for many years to come.
So like one cool thing here is that they look at the different civs and they have different leaders throughout. So you can kind of layer on throughout time on your different civs. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that actually looks like in-game.
It is the dawn of a new age. The age of antiquity.
Oh, and another thing here is they have different ages, right? So Age of Antiquity, Exploration, and then they go into kind of late game, which is like a present. So they do past, present, and future, basically, for the different ages. So this looks like we're just starting off. We started a brand new game, right? And we have our settlers now.
Where humanity begins to take its first steps into the annals of history.
Oh, it looks like camels as a
The great
new,
pharaoh, Hatshepsut,
child.
leads the civilization of ancient Egypt. Among the arid desert lands and a winding river, the seeds of our people.
So let's look at this. So we can see we have the movement tiles, their health, their defense, and then I guess this is like pass and stuff like that down there, which is pretty normal. And then up in the top left corner, it looks like we're tracking gold. Not sure what this one is. Science, music, happiness. And then maybe we have a city cap, it looks like. Of course, first turn, right? And then we got a little mini map down there. I do like kind of the fog of war tiles. I noticed that was one thing you get in the Founders Edition too, kind of different fog of war tiles. And it looks like we have, of course, desert tiles. We have some river tiles. It looks like something here. And then I'm not sure what that is, but maybe an an old city or something like that. So let's go ahead and press play and see if we
People
get
are
any of that
rooted in
answered.
sand and water.
Yeah, that...
To discover what treasures
Oh,
and
look, they
dangers
just claimed it. It didn't really tell us what that was, though. Let's see if we can kind of get an idea. So we found the city,
rooted in
right?
sand
We have 0 for pretty much everything
and
there.
water.
Still zeros. Maybe this is a diplomatic favor? But it looks like we got, from taking that, possibly some science or some music.
To discover what treasures and dangers lie beyond.
I wonder what that tile is.
A
That's
brave
pretty cool.
scout begins to survey and map the surrounding lands.
Oh, I don't know if that's a feature, but like you could see that scout was actually on a mountain. I wonder if that improves your field of vision and you can kind of see more tiles throughout.
Survey and map the surrounding lands. As our population grows, a new granary is built to store food for hungry mouths. Its location decided.
So it looks like instead of building builders to improve different tiles, you'll actually be doing that through kind of the city management area. And they just put down a new granary there. It looks like it builds some pop and some additional food there.
A new district is formed, and construction begins. With more food available, our people look to make improvements to the land.
Oh, look at this. So we can see on the river tiles, we have some production, some happiness, and then what looks like fish. We also have production and chicken down here, and then flat desert with dates. That provides +2 food and +2 happiness. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of new kind of resource tiles and different kind of yields for them. So like you can see these give you fish, but one gives you production, one gives you production and happiness. So there's going to be different tile yields, which could be pretty interesting. And typically, this to me looks like irrigation, right? So I wonder if there's still going to be like irrigation researches. Oh yeah, look. Pick this tile will give you a plantation. So this was a granary improvement, and then this one looks like to be a plantation improvement, which is probably through irrigation.
An ancient fruit ripe for cultivating is spotted. Dates will provide more sustenance for our citizens, and their sweetness will make the people happy.
Makes sense, right? +2 food, +2 happiness.
A plantation is constructed to harvest this valuable resource. Over time, our city continues to grow.
Oh, and look at that. I didn't even catch what tile this was, but we can see that improved some of the ones by the city, and then ones even further away. So I wonder if there's going to be like a boundary similar to like Civ 6, and then you can kind of reach in and kind of improve those different tiles, leaving some unimproved maybe for different ages. Because I think ages are going to have different strategic resources available, just like in past games, like when you discover iron, right? You're not going to discover that in the Age of Antiquity or anything like that.
As more urban and rural developments spring forth,
Oh, mines right up there.
we pursue advancements in technology to
Oh, let's see. So we got currency, masonry, irrigation. So it was not, you don't need irrigation to have a plantation. That's pretty interesting. And then writing too. Each of these, it looks like you can probably hover over them and see what these different benefits are. I'm going to be super excited to jump into the game and test these out.
serve the needs of our people. Breakthroughs in irrigation further enhance our...
Oh, look, they're actually telling us what these different ones are. So let's see. For irrigation,
Further-
We have gardens that provide 3 food, bonuses for adjacency, so coastal, lake, river, or next to a wander. Interesting.
That enhance our
Settlement limit. So there was a limit
Food
that we
production.
saw on the top. Remember, we saw that it was 1 out of 3. So you are going to be capped a little bit on how many different settlements you can have. And then look at this. This is a completely different tech right here. This one's on sailing, and you get additional food from fishing.
while sailing unlocks our ability to traverse the nearby waters. It is now possible to journey further and
Look at that. I don't know how far their boundary is stretching. It looks like maybe to here. But typically in the older games, once you upgraded to sailing, your explorer would have to go back into the city boundary to have that upgrade take place, and then it could go out into the ocean. So that's pretty interesting that once you have sailing, it looks like any unit can just go ahead and start
expand
sailing.
our empire.
That could be just the scout,
With a deft
though.
hand, our scout travels along a navigable river.
Oh, look, marble up
Their
there.
tenacity is rewarded with the discovery of a breathtaking series
Looks like
of
Fates again over
waterfalls.
here, and a wander, of course.
This natural wonder of the world.
Oh, wow. So this right here doesn't look to be in that city's boundaries. So this might be, like, I know there's a new thing around, like, barbarians and city-states. Essentially, there's no more city-states or barbarians. Instead, they're, like, independent people. I wonder if this is an independent encampment or something. And then we can see what looks like silk over here, maybe some diamond, and some other resources up here. I can't really see them all that well, but this just kind of gives you an idea of the scale of it, right? This is just the first city they founded. Looks like they're probably going to go up here towards that wonder, right? Looks like they have a settler right here with the flag. So let's go ahead and see what they do.
Attracts the imagination of our people, and brave settlers
We have
begin the
3
long
turns to
trek
go
to
over
claim
there.
new land for the Egyptian Empire.
That definitely looks like diamonds right there.
A new town is established near the majestic.
Look at that. So they established a new town. Some things that I'm seeing right here is, one, a road was automatically made. Now, I don't know if it was automatically made or if this is a few turns later, but that's something interesting. I think it was Rome in Civ 6 that, like, in between your cities, it would automatically make the road. But in other games, you would have to make a trader to kind of get roads going. It looks like we have a lake over here, possibly. And then right here, it looks like another Civ. Like, you can see the borders right here. Let's see what we got going on.
Falls. A town starts from humble beginnings and is initially used to gather nearby resources. Perhaps in the future, this town will grow large enough to specialize and gain its own identity as a city. Our expansion does not go unnoticed. A foreign scout is spotted, revealing the existence of a nearby independent power.
Independent power. So that's kind of like the new terminology they're using for barbarians or city-states. And really, it's kind of how you interact with them. And look, that does look like diplomatic favor points that we have right up here. So gold, diplomatic favor, science, probably culture, happiness. And then, would you look at that? It's saying they have 8 out of 15 for the settlement limit. I wonder if that's counting like improved tiles. Because so far they've only founded 2 cities. So that's something interesting to note there. We'll have to see how that works out in actual gameplay.
Initial hostilities are tempered over time as friendly relations begin to form. And peace does not dampen our ambitions. our people strive forth to create great wonders the world has never seen before.
Oh, and look at that. We caught a little glimpse of it. And this is still during kind of that ancient age. We have right over here a little blue line going up, and right over here. Now, I pointed out a little bit earlier that it looked like shipwrecks, but I'm wondering if these are like kind of those. I'm drawing a blank on what they used to be called. Maybe like tribal villages, right? So maybe you can kind of go over these and get some additional benefits from them. That's going to be something cool to kind of figure out and explore.
As we continue to expand and explore the continent, we encounter new civilizations. They are eager to engage in a bartering of ideas and goods.
That looks like a trader right there, actually. So it looks like we still do have traders, and I wonder if you have to have them in like a certain proximity to trade with different civilizations.
Established, providing mutual access to each empire's resources. But our rapid growth does not go unnoticed. Our neighbors' ambitions...
Look at that. So, the cool thing here, I wanted to point out two things that I noticed, right? First, both civs are kind of on screen and interacting with each other. That's a really cool new feature that I saw that I like quite a bit. Kind of brings life to these two characters. The second thing is, like, when you have two units kind of right up against each other, they almost have like a sword fight, and you can see it when I play it again. But this has like a question that I'm wondering, right, is how much has combat actually changed in Civ 7, right? So like you have games like Total War that kind of focus on kind of this high level similar to Civ, but then you have control of the army, like a more granular view and control of the army when you go into combat scenarios. Civ, on the other hand, never really dabbled too much in that, but it looks like now when you at least have your units pressed up against each other and you're at war, it looks like there's some kind of skirmish going on. So that's going to be a very fun new combat system to play around with.
Rival our own, setting us on a collision course.
Attacking going on.
War is no longer avoidable.
Ooh.
A great army is raised.
Look at this.
Led by formidable commanders who spur our forces quickly across the land.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's pause it real quick. I wanted to rewind it a second. So look at this bottom right corner. Let's see if I can get it kind of paused on a spot that has some
is no
good
longer
lighting.
avoidable.
Right about here. Look at this. So they're mentioning about like generals, right? Which it looks like we have maybe here. And then is this made up of different units? Kind of like a legion? Yeah, look, army commander. So we got a commander and then units under his command. Because it looks like we have an army here and an army here. So it does look like there's a little bit new combat system going on in Civ 7. That's going to be really, really cool.
A great army is raised, led by formidable commanders who spur our forces quickly across the land. Spears and arrows make way for iron swords and armor.
And you can see, like, what I'm talking about when those units are kind of right next to each other. They just kind of are, like, slashing at each other, you know? It just adds a little bit something else to the game there, you know?
The battles are fierce. We emerge victorious.
So it looks like you can control individual units, but then also maybe kind of those, having those commanders in there. I wonder if that's like replacing great generals. Because I remember in like the older games, great generals and great admirals, I would almost always just kind of use them for their whatever benefit. Like if it's healing the units around you, maybe they have a little bit of scientific advancement or whatever. So maybe they're trying to add in these generals and stuff like that and make them a little bit better this time around.
But the challenges of this age have shaken our mighty Egyptian empire to its core.
I like the
world
destruction
changes.
going on. That's pretty cool.
We feel the pages of history turn as the age of antiquity comes to a close. A new age of human advancement approaches.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Age of Antiquity, Exploration, and then I think the next one is like Future or Modern Age. And the cool thing about these different ages is they allow you to kind of, it goes back to that layering idea that they brought up before, where each civilization is kind of layered on top of each other. So in Antiquity, you'll have like all unique units. In the Age of Exploration, you'll have all unique units for your Civ. So that kind of takes away one of the issues that they had in Civ 6, which was like, if you're playing as America's a really good late game Civ because you can get airplanes and stuff like that, right? But early game you suffer a little bit. So the idea here with these three different ages is that like it allows them to kind of rebalance during those different ages, rather than just trying to have one Civ be good throughout the whole game, right? So this is going to be a lot of fun playing these different ages, seeing how your empire changes over time, like the buildings, the units, and everything like that. So
A new age brings forth new challenges and new opportunities.
look at this. So you get legacies that you can add in. Looks like just kind of general ones, military ones, economic, some gold stuff, and like capital upgrades, and then some science. Oh yeah, look, it tells you right here. So general, military, culture, economic, and science. One thing I saw here that was pretty cool is, I'll try to find the clip to play in a little bit, but the idea is like, if you're playing as Egypt, you can kind of branch off into any one of these different directions, right? And they'll give you a hint or like an icon that says, hey, like, this would be historically accurate. But like, if you find a bunch of horses early on, your next upgrade, you could maybe go like the Mongol route, right? And get like a whole bunch of like horse cavalry and stuff like that. So you can play historically accurate, or you can play to whatever strategically you want to do, which is super cool.
New technologies to research. New resources to acquire.
Yep, new resources, so they confirm that.
New lands to explore.
Yeah. Whales, fish.
If we are to take on the challenges of this new age, we must adapt and select a new civilization to represent our empire.
Every Civ plays differently. Across your game, you might want to stay as true to history as possible, only selecting Civs that have historical ties to.
Oh, look, this is exactly what I was talking about. So you can see as you go through these different ages, right? That was Antiquity, this is the Exploration Age. This was where I got that example for the Mongolians, right? So this is the exact image that I was thinking about. Right now we're looking at the Age of Exploration, right? But this Civ could have branched out in any one of these three ways. Technically two, because the middle one is locked, but that was a Mongolian example I gave before. And so this is really cool because you can kind of fortify your strategy or pivot from your strategy, depending on how the game is going. So this is going to be so much fun. Like, I can't wait.
Or you might switch to Civs that fit your strategic needs.
Yep.
There are so many possible paths to explore, so many different choices you can make.
So this kind of reminds me of the government tab in Civ 6, right? And so like as you progress through the game, you unlocked more and more different government tabs. But this one looks like it's kind of chained together on like maybe 1 of 3 paths or 1 of 2, depending on which way you went, right? So this is, I wonder all the different benefits kind of tied to these different leaders and everything like that. And then the third age is actually the modern age. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can catch our February 6th live stream. And we'll be having a whole bunch of videos and a whole series on this. Thanks guys for watching. I'll catch you next time.